Hey, Grand Rising, good afternoon and good evening, honey. Whatever time you click on this video is the right time for you, and I thank you in advance for your viewership and support. So, y'all, I was supposed to do this, I want to say last week. My apologies, I'm just not getting around to it. But it looks like it's a good thing that I waited because, honey, ooh, listen. Devon Mayo has come for Tim Montague and reinstated his alienation of affection lawsuit. And he's, oh my gosh, when I say he's hitting them front, back, side to side, Brene, he's coming for inequitable distribution. I think I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying it right. My legal eagles, get down in the comments, let me know if I got that right. But he's saying that, throughout the duration of the marriage with Brene, when she was Brene Mayo, that he paid all the bills, he took care of everything. She didn't help with anything. He had no idea how much money she was actually making from her social media. And that she took her social media money and spent it on her side dude, who would have been Tim at the time. And I don't have to say allegedly because they were dating and possibly engaged before she was divorced from her ex-husband, uh, Devon Mayo. So, y'all, yeah, this is messy. Um, we already know Akira won her case against Brene for 1.75 million. Okay? Yes, them big M's, millions. It was like 1.5 and they added on 250,000, and I don't know if that was punitive damages or whatever it was. Hell, whatever it was. She got it. So now Devon Mayo is spinning the block. He reactivated his lawsuit. Y'all, excuse me. Uh, the first part of the lawsuit is for 300,000. The second part, hold on to your wig straps, okay? The second part is for $3 million. Now, mind you, these two flagrantly, were dealing with each other in Brene's marital home as well. And it is said by Devon that he was asleep, okay? He was sleeping, and Brene brought Tim into the home, okay? He came in with a blow-up bed. Girl, what? Brought it into the second bedroom, which would be her makeup room, where she would do a lot of her recording and where she would work. And y'all, they got the smashing on the blow-up bed in the house while he was asleep in their actual bedroom. Now, how him and Akira didn't catch a case, baby, it gets by me. It gets totally past me. When I say they have the patience of Job, God bless them both. Because, I mean, the humiliation and total embarrassment of the situation feels so much better when you get a judgment like 1.75 million. And like, really, like 3,300,000, overall is what Devon is asking for from Tim, and he's still suing Renee for income that she made throughout the marriage that she dispersed outside of the marital home with her side dude. Baby, Tim just keep costing Brene. I mean, peace of mind, common sense, all of her money, self-respect and decency. If you go back, way back, what they used to say, cool points, cloud. I mean, she's just down in every possible way. At this point, I don't know what she won except for the biggest L of the year. So, y'all, I'm on this camera today with my bald head ass fingertips. Those of y'all that follow me know I do not like not having my nails done. But listen, things happen, and I figured while my hands were ghetto, it was perfect for me to read ghetto energy. So without any further ado, y'all, we're going to tap into the energy around Devin Mayo and Tim Montague. Baby, I mean, Tim already ain't got it. So, I mean, I don't know where he's going to go and get it. But this is like when I say paying somebody for life and then possibly the next 3 lifetimes. Crazy, crazy, crazy work. Before I get started, y'all, somebody in the comments said that Tim was morphing into Devin. And, you know, he was going on the fitness journey like Devin, getting the dreads like Devin. And I said, that's weird as hell because, I mean, that's been said about Brene and Akira. Brene cut the nails down, got the short nails, and is dressing like how Akira used to dress, bought the vehicle that Akira wanted to buy. So it's like this is the weirdest destiny swap that ended up never ever working out for anybody's highest good. I mean, cautionary tale tenfold. So let's tap in, y'all. Let's tap in, let's tap in, let's tap in. Anybody want to skip past? Go to 640. Go to the 640 mark and the reading starts. Show me the energy between Tim and Devin, Devin and Tim. Tim and Devin, Devin and Tim. Please and thank you. Okay, damn, that was a jumper. So, Page of Swords. Page of Swords talks about things playing out publicly where people can see it. You know, the messages and all of these things are going to be seen before everybody. So, this is going to be just as highly publicized. Hold on, I want to make sure y'all can see the table. Okay, this is going to be just as highly publicized as the situation with Brene, and possibly even more embarrassing. Mind you, the same legal team is handling this case as well. Something just literally flipped around in my deck. Judgment. Oh my God, this is going to be a viral judgment as well. Wounded warrior. This feels like, and I'm going to say allegedly because we haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes yet, but it feels like nice guys won't finish last this time. Okay? People are really going to be looking at the core details of what Devin went through, and they're going to want to know exactly what I said in the opening. How did he not go to jail? Knight of Pentacles. So this is something that's going to drag on. This is going to be tedious. It's it's not going to be as quick for Tim as it was for Brene. It feels like there's more details, there's more information, and that makes sense because the last case and this case literally are kissing cousins at this point. So a lot of the information from the last case is going to go off into this case, and then this case is going to expound upon gray areas. Oh my goodness. So Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles represents a wife and a very financially established woman. So Brene is going to be really, really heartbroken by the outcome of her case and Tim's case, because we're going to get off into the crux and crevices of where her finances were when her and Devin started their marital journey. We're going to look at how she built up her social media, how he was supportive of her building up her social media, how when she got to a certain level in her social media journey, how the affair played into the graduation and the progression of her social media journey. And when she got to the height of her social media journey, how the money not only wasn't allocated into the home, but how it was allocated allegedly into the affair. This is going to get down and dirty. This feels like, sex, lies, and videotapes type energy. Okay, definitely going to the court. Definitely going to court. Ace of Swords, the bottom of the deck. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth is going to come out. Tim has already said he's being prejudiced because he doesn't recall all of the details. He doesn't recall all of the details and the information of the alleged affair. So it's unfair to call him back to court because I guess he on his shaggy. It wasn't me. And if it was, I don't recall. So King of Wands, baby. King of Wands represents someone who is very high profile, even peacockish in their energy, someone who flaunts their energy, someone who can be, very, very over the top in their, machismo, their adult type energy. I'm trying to find words that I can use because you never know what's gonna flag YouTube. But pretty much it was like he was flagrant with his energy, always peacocking around the house, and it became obvious because when they got to a certain point, he walked around the house like he was King Midas, as if he was already in a relationship or the husband. It was like the roles reversed long before the information came out. This is what this feels like. Two of Wands. So we're going to understand the breakdown of some of the choices and how it felt like it was like a toss-up between the both of them long before the information came out. We're going to find out about, why Devon withdrew his energy, what was behind, the way that he was treated. We're going to find out more about the progression of how she got entangled with Tim and how she started to treat Devon, possibly becoming more verbally abusive, undermining. We're going to get into the whole entire backdrop of when, the seasons change, the feelings change, the shift. Six of Swords. Finally, it got so toxic, people had no choice but to leave. Something major possibly happened by, either, I want to say like in January. So I know she signed a lease in January because the star doesn't just represent healing, it represents Aquarius season. Aquarius season starts in January, ends in February. So there's something very major that's going to come out about the energy before Brene moved out, before they separated their energy. We're going to find out the details, the inner working of I want to say like the week of packing up, separating. Like there's, y'all, this needs to be a Lifetime movie. I don't know if Tubi can do this justice. This needs to be a Lifetime movie, like a mini series, because we're gonna walk through the other side of the alienation of affection, and it feels like this side is way more detailed. Way more personal, way more detailed. Okay, so the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles represents the relationship, and I'm hearing the term three's a crowd. Three's company, three's a crowd. So this means that it got to the point to where he would come over to hang out, and it became more than obvious that he was coming over to hang out with his wife. Not them as a couple, but with his wife. So it went from three's company to three's a crowd. and he watched this unfold because it's under the Page of Swords. He literally watched this unfold. We're gonna, get off into how this affected his self-esteem, his self-confidence, his self-worth. Miss Robin, you gonna lay this on thick like grits. Eight of Swords, Judgment, and the Eight of Swords. Now that's interesting because Judgment and the Eight of Swords is literally that's a two-party message right there. That's like if you don't pay the message, you will be going to jail. And also, he felt heavy in his mind, heavy in his thoughts about, judgment. He always felt like he was being judged. He had a lot of thoughts, like this was wrecking his brain, the way these things were working out. Page of Pentacles. It's like at first he didn't think much of it. So Page of Pentacles represents also work, and they may have done a lot while he was at work. So it came down to, okay, well, I'm at work, she's shooting content, and he may have started to notice that, why are you and Tim spending so much time together while I'm at work shooting content? Oh, it's no big deal. He was available to do this, that, and the other. I needed somebody to hold the camera. It started off innocent, and then it was like he keeps popping up in the content, and it's starting to seem like y'all spending all this time together while I'm at work. And that's going to really, really, really be a sore point. My apologies, y'all. I'm trying to get the camera angle right. That's going to be a real sore point because here it is. We're going to get the breakdown of how much he was making, how much he was spending on bills, him not having much for himself left over, working overtime, and she needs this and she needs that, and him investing into her social media career, possibly helping her to purchase things. And he's, being very, very supportive. And the more he goes to work, the more overtime he spends at work, the more time she's spending with Tim. And it's like, what the hell is going on here? Allegedly, because all things said here are for entertainment purposes, and they're all allegedly. He may have even thought about getting a new job, or she was suggesting to him that he needed to get a better job to make more money. Whatever he was doing wasn't enough, not knowing how much she was currently making in social media. So this feels like he literally was struggling, robbing Peter to pay Paul, to pay the bills. And the whole time he had no idea she was monthly making what he was making possibly for the year. Wow, that says a lot. So we've got the Hermit here, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Hermit. So this is kind of interesting because that just reiterates what I was just saying, to where, Knight of Pentacles, money was coming in slow, Hermit mode. So he may have felt inadequate, as if, he's not providing enough or producing enough. But this feels very layered, the moon. As you can see, it's two wolves here. So he was being betrayed by both of them. So it looks like while everybody else had a job and was being responsible, being grown-ups and paying bills, these two were skipping around like they were still 15. So next thing you know, Queen of Pentacles, she becomes very, very financially stable. He has no idea because you got Knight of Pentacles. Everything was coming in very, very slow for the job. As far as her social media account, as far as he was concerned, he had no idea she went from the Knight of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles. Like, I don't know if the account like literally blew up overnight, or she, started to get sponsorships. Something happened to where the money was trickling in and it was cute, it was okay, and then boom, we made it, right? But in the meantime, he's working, taking care of everything, making sure he takes care of his wife. But his wife is having a damn good time shopping and doing all kinds of stuff. So just imagine you made just enough to pay the bills. You know, I got a couple of dollars left over. I'm going to take the wife out for dinner. You know, something cute, right? And then you see all these bags start rolling in from shopping, and it's like, where all this shit come from? And you have no idea how much money she's making or if things are coming in from sponsorships, but you notice that the shopping is increasing, and you're noticing that her and Tim are spending more time, you know, on camera together while you're at work. This is the vibe that I'm getting, the energy that I'm getting. It's like this is what's going to come out in court, and we're going to find out about the nuances, all the things, you know, in between this situation, the betwixt and the betweens. Seven of Pentacles. So here it is. Yeah, he invested in her becoming this Queen of Pentacles. Not just her becoming his wife, but he invested heavily in her being able to build her social media account. Without him paying the bills and allowing her to stay home to build this brand and encouraging her and possibly buying, who knows, I don't know, new phone, camera equipment, lighting, whatever it was. He was the, you know, the main contributor, okay? Like, I want to say 80-20, but it's like, it still doesn't feel equivalent to that. But it's like he gave everything, and she would do something a little here and there, just a little razzle dazzle. Like he would buy all of the stuff for the house, and she might, you know, go get a toiletry or two here and there. And I don't think he would have minded. I don't think he would have ever said anything if it wasn't for her becoming so flagrant with whatever she had going on. He had no idea that she had become so financially stable. But here it is, you know, you would think that when she gets what she gets because of all the sacrifices that was made, that she would invest back into the marriage so that they can have balance through a new beginning, temperance. But we're going to find out what happened. What did she actually invest in? Uh-oh, hold on. Pardon me, y'all. We got some jumpers that escaped. Now, I'm going to read these. They all hit the floor, but I'm going to put them back. So, look at what we got all in reverse. So, we've got the Hangman. The ability, it's like no longer stagnant, able to move forward, and then boom, it's like something stops everything. Because Seven of Swords, like something was exposed, something sneaky could no longer be hid. Nine of Wands, somebody could no longer play the victim. So it's like now it's all out in the open. So it feels like at a certain point, everything that was actually going on between Tim and Brene was finally exposed. It was all out in the open. Nobody could lie anymore. He knew in his intuition, but you know how sometimes people know but they don't want to know. So it feels like he knew in his heart of all hearts. He knew with his intuition, but now everything's out in the open. You can no longer lie about it. Okay, so this was the one that was backwards in my deck. There we go, the Knight of Wands. So, oh shit now. Knight of Wands under the Hierophant, which represents institution, marriage, court. So we're going to find out about all of the little sneaking and geeking details with the situationship. And if you think it got down and dirty with the Kira case, with, you know, the sausage pigs, it's gonna get real raunchy. Okay, Knight of Wands is definitely situationship, smash type energy. So apparently this may have started off, y'all, way before Akira knew about it. Okay, Oh God. This is going to be so much more raunchy in the details because we're going to get the other side of the text messages. So, oh, Robin, you about to do your big one. Attorney Robinetta, I think that's her name. Shout out to you. I hope I said your name right. She's really about to do her big one because if they had like 700 pieces of evidence in the last case, we're about to find the missing pieces and find out that this goes further back. This gets way worse. Six of coins, six of pentacles. So not only is this going to help possibly allegedly lock in a huge judgment for Devon, we're going to find out about not only the money that Brene was receiving, but money that Brene was possibly giving out. Six of Pentacles is definitely giving out. So she had been sugar mama allegedly for a while, y'all. Okay, you know, got to put them allegedlys in there since all these folks are in and out of court. But she could have been sugar mama for a while, long before it ever came out that these two were messing around. So just imagine they're on couples dates, but during those couples dates, they could have already started a situationship where she was taking care of him and they had something going on. Like, y'all, this oh God. Not you was paying for the wang. I mean, you definitely paying for it now. But, King of Wands. Tim, I don't know what you doing, but Lord have mercy. You knocking the Sonic coins out of her front, back, side to side. Just this time, not in a good way. Knight of Swords, Ten of Swords. So we're going to find out about messages of betrayal, whether it's things that got back to him in conversations he overheard, text messages. It's like they got so messy that they didn't even care anymore. So those of you that follow me, y'all know I channel music. I'm channeling Shay Jones talk show shit. So it got to the point to where it just got so messy that neither one of them cared. The messages were just so flagrant, so in your face. It's like, I mean, and at that point, it's like, okay, we have no choice but to cut it off. Six of Swords, have to leave this behind. But I'm trying to figure out how in the hell is Brene, because this feels like Brene's energy. Like, I can't take this anymore. I have to leave. But you're the one that is bringing the toxicity from what I can see. And I'm not saying that, you know, Devon or anybody in this equation is perfect, but I don't see where Devon made it uncomfortable for you until you had to leave. This feels like you just finally wanted to be with the penis that you were paying for so that you could have it every night, and you made a mountain out of, I don't even know if this is a molehill. I feel like a pimple. This was a mosquito bite that you turned into a damn mountain. And woohoo, it turned into a mountain of karma, I tell you that much. Okay, the Tower. So yeah, this was sudden. This was like, you know, okay, whatever. Okay, you know what you know, and bye. Wow. Wow. So you get caught and you act like you're annoyed because you get caught. This is the energy that I'm getting. You feel like he violated you for even asking about your indiscretions when your box belongs to him because you're married. Y'all? Damn. Now, mind you, we haven't got to Tim's side of this. This is all over on Devon's side of the energy. So, Nine of Wands, okay? Nine of Wands falling under the Three of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So, yeah, it's like we're going to see just how bad, allegedly, Brene played the victim in this equation, while it played out for everybody to see, because remember, the Page of Swords represents being seen, video evidence, things that are tangible that can be seen. Okay. Five of Wands, even trying to possibly allegedly put him in situations where she physically fought him, or we're going to find out the truth behind when she claimed that he put hands on her. We're going to find out the truth about the alleged possible physical altercation. Tell me more about the alleged physical altercation. Okay, so you got the Moon here, which represents secrets, judgments. Okay, somebody could have went to jail. Okay, who could have went to jail? The Fool, the leap of faith. So it looks like this was used as an opportunity. Yeah, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. It feels like this was used as an opportunity for Brene to fly the coop. Okay. It almost like a harebrained scheme, allegedly. Nine of Cups, it was a wish fulfillment, because it's like slowly but surely she was inching away from being bothered with him. They became very, very distant. It became very cold. Page of Pentacles, like this dragged on and dragged on and dragged on until it was like literally like there's a stranger in my house. Like I don't even know who I'm living with anymore. I don't know who I'm in a relationship with anymore. And it was due to a wish fulfillment by his wife, due to what she was invested in. Seven of Pentacles, the Hangman. So, what is this sticking out the side of the deck? Hold on. Hangman, Queen of Swords. So she talked to him real crazy, according to what this energy is saying. Very, very emasculating. So when she says that he withdrew and he didn't, show affection outside of the bedroom, it feels like he withdrew because she was constantly emasculating him. This is the energy that I'm getting. I wasn't there. I just got to go with the energy that I'm receiving. It feels like she constantly emasculated him to the point to where he shut down. It affected his self-esteem, and he didn't even feel like she wanted to be bothered with him, or he didn't feel like he was good enough. Queen of Wands. So, okay, so here it is. Yeah, she went from this all feels like thrills. Okay, this is like a adrenaline rush, because when you have the Queen of Wands, you got something stable. You're married, like somebody who is heavily invested in you. But she wanted to invest in the Queen of Wands, the one that she felt made her feel sexy and attractive. All of the surface level things, like, the adrenaline rush of, the cheating, almost like gambling. You know how gambling can be so addictive. You get a rush, you get a rush, you get a rush until you roll the dice and crap out. Like, this is what it is. It feels like, she went after, what turned her on and made her feel alive, due to, the adult energy between her and Tim. This is justice. This is definitely going to come out in court. Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. So we're going to find out what actually got Brene and Tim to go in a different direction than their marriage. A lot of hedonistic type energy, okay? It feels like thrill seeking, turned up times 10, sneaking off here, sneaking off there, sneaking off here, sneaking off there. But outside of that, everybody else was at work, but these two were, constantly thrill humping. Allegedly. King of Cups. So, you know, he felt very deeply about a lot of what was going on, but he held everything in. Very intense feelings. Almost like drowning in his emotions, but he felt like it was no one that he could talk to about this betrayal until, you know, it became more than obvious. And it was like either he received a message or messages started coming back to him, but it was very direct. Notice she's Queen of Wands down here. She goes from being a wife to investing in, being a hot girl, a thottie, right? And here's the marriage in the midst, and the cheating and going in a new direction. And then King of Wands, you know, they were matching each other's lower, vibration when it comes to being hedonistic. Knight of Swords. So it became so enticing and is so exciting to them that they just didn't care anymore about who knew or things getting out. And it's like that was even the biggest betrayal of it, because it's like, damn, y'all don't even have any discretion. So this definitely feels like he knew long before Akira, and he just kept it to himself due to, just he already felt inadequate. He felt ashamed. He didn't know how to describe this situation. And we have to remember at the time Akira was pregnant. So he may not have wanted to share this information with Akira because he didn't want to jeopardize her pregnancy and put her through extra stress. So this isn't just about him not knowing how to tell her. It was a lot going through his head, a lot of emotions. He hadn't possibly processed it the way he needed to. He felt betrayed, and then here it is. If I tell Akira's pregnant, how is this going to affect her? So he carried a lot of this by himself. It's a lot that even his family, his mother, like it's a lot that they still haven't found out yet. But when this comes out in court, y'all, I mean, when I say shameful to the max. Nine of Coins, Nine of Pentacles. So the Tower, like I said, this happened all of a sudden. Like, fine, you know what you know. Fuck it, I'm out. Bye. And she goes on like, like she's single, like the piece of paper means nothing, but she leaves the independent woman, like independent woman, Nine of Pentacles. Like, you leave with the lion's share of the money from the marriage, because let's remember, at the time, he had no idea how much money she was making. Like, he finds out on the back end how much she's making. He tried to get his wife back, temperance, balance through a new beginning. So when she's saying, well, we can go to counseling and this, that, and the other, y'all, listen. I noticed that Brene does a lot of speaking in the third person, and I'm not a therapist, so I can't diagnose her, but it feels like she speaks in the third person to remove herself from the equation, or to lessen the impact of her part in this in some types of way. And it's just weird to me, because she kept talking about we can go to therapy, but he didn't want to go. Why should he want to go to therapy when you're the one that has the problem with fidelity? You need to go to therapy and sit in all the seats they have in the room. What is he supposed to go to therapy for? How to allow you to cheat better? That is one of the most horrendous, and I hate to use the word narcissistic, but it feels like it fits so well here. Horrendous and narcissistic things I've ever heard, where you're disrespecting him, you're cheating, you're getting so blatant with it that you're open with it. You're, spending money on the other dude who does nothing for you, absolutely nothing for you, but show up with penis and disappointment at this point. And here it is, the man who made it possible for you to build your brand and to become who you are. It looks like you tear him down, you talk to him crazy, you make him feel like he's lesser than, like he's not worth your time and attention. and then you tell him we can go to therapy. What the hell would he be going for? I mean, maybe he needs to go to learn his self-worth and to, boss up his self-esteem so he can realize he deserves way better than you. But I don't see any other reason for him to go to therapy than that. Okay, so Ace of Wands, Two of Pentacles. We're going to learn more about how she was juggling both of these men and sleeping with them simultaneously. Oh, Lord. Yeah, this is about to get downright nasty, disgusting. And it's like playing the wounded warrior, acting like everything is falling apart, like Devon is the worst person ever, while consistently sleeping with the both of these men simultaneously from what it appears here on the table in the cards. So, I mean, this is just wild. How do you play the victim and, try to play, as if you're the dutiful wife, but you're literally out here playing, hide and go get it. Okay, and it's like she did this all the way up until it came to a close. We're still in Devon's side of it. I haven't switched the deck yet to go to Tim. And we're 42 minutes in, so, well, just about. So we've got the Devil here, okay? A lot of obsession, toxic energy. Lord have mercy. King of Swords. He's going to be able to get on that stand and tell his truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because the King of Swords to the Ace of Swords is, baby, that's that don't try to destroy me with a lie when I can literally bury you with the truth. Queen of Cups. So she tried to keep this Queen of Cups energy before the public. And he's going to tell all of the secrets about the down and dirty negative energy and everything that he went through and everything that they were doing. And it feels like it's going to be way worse than the energy with Tim and Akira. So let me clear the table and let's get off into Tim with the hips. BBL Timmy, let's get off into your energy, because Lord have mercy. Devon, like I said, baby, I don't know how you and Akira didn't end up down to the jail, but God bless you, because this is a lot. This is a whole lot. Alrighty, almost, there we go. Almost done. Alrighty, so let's get off into Tim's energy and see what Tim's side of this is, because Devon's side got me floored. All right, show me Tim Montague's energy. Show me Tim Montague's energy. Show me the energy between Tim and Brene before the divorces. Tim and Brene before the divorces. Okay, the Lovers, Gemini, Death. Okay? Who have mercy? Honey, shout out to Keisha Coles. I'm channeling her song. Was it worth it? Honey, was it worth it? Wasn't that Tamron Hall's question? Okay, so we got the Lovers here and Death. So, damn. we're already seeing that it's like this lawsuit is possibly what's going to dissolve the relationship between him and Brene. And please know that relationships can dissolve long before they dissolve legally. Ten of Wands. So yeah, this situation, Tim is in the energy of, you know, he felt like he was heavily burdened by his lover. Nine of Wands. He felt like the wounded warrior, the victim. So it seems like him and his current wife, they mirror each other. They mirror each other in that energy where they both just felt like, oh my God, responsibility. How dare you want me to adult? This is so tough. This is so hard. And they both play the victim, allegedly. This is the energy that I get somehow, some way. Okay, so Knight of Cups, Page of Staffs. So we're getting off into what made him go in a new direction, okay? What made him go in a new direction and either extend this cup or accept this offer. Because this feels like this was an offer that was extended to him. So that may be very key in this case, that Brene was the one who started to extend her cup and he reciprocated, allegedly. So he felt like he was boggled down in this marriage, his first marriage. He had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And then here comes this offer. King of Cups. So King of Cups, once again, is being very deep in your feelings, drowning in emotions, and keeping things quiet to yourself. You got the Strength card here. And it's very, very peculiar here. Because it's like he's giving off, and I want to say this feels like how he's going to describe his situation on the stand, okay? Don't know him. I am not a Montague representative, but it feels like this is how he's going to describe it on the stand. You know, it was like he struggled. He went through so much in this marriage, his first marriage, and he had the weight of the world against him. And here's this breath of fresh air that just saved him from whatever. Came with this offer. He decided to go in a new direction. He, you know, was emotionally distraught. He was going through all these things. He didn't have anyone to talk to. So there's that shoulder to cry on, Nookie. Okay, got it. And she helped to build him and to make him strong again. This feels like what he's going to say on the stand, y'all. She gave him strength. She breathed life into him. Okay. So here we go with the star. Remember that Aquarius timeline that I gave you? Something that starts in January, possibly February. Now we know that Brene signed that lease for the new place in January. We're going to find out the truth about that timeline with that lease. And King of Coins, that represents husband energy. Okay, so wait a minute. Pay attention, y'all. See how you have what looks like these wine grapes hanging off of this headpiece? And then you see the wine grapes or whatever these are, figs, baby, I don't know. But they're hanging over here as well. So it seems like the both of them, you know, have a problem with watching other people's blessings and coveting other people's goods, or wanting to covet other people's goods. Because here's Devon over here, who was her husband at the time, and here's the fruit that was on this tree. And it's like, okay, see how this man seems like he's lazily sitting in this seat? Okay, this is the way they're going to try to describe Devon. Like he was like a bump on a log. He was just there. But this man is royal. Pay attention. He's royal. And up here, you got the King of Cups, who is sitting on his throne, but he's drowning in his emotions. Now look back here, y'all. You got a ship coming in. So it's like, here it is, while he's drowning in his emotions, feeling some type of way, you see this ship creeping by in the back. And remember, I said, it looks like she came with this offer. So here's this ship coming. You got a fish back here that represents fertility. So this could have been around the time that Akira found out she was pregnant. I don't know which pregnancy, but she was lurking back here just waiting to figure out where she was going to dock. He didn't even know what was coming. Now look at this headrest, this serpent, headpiece. Serpent headpiece that's on his head. And here it is. It ends up here on this dagger. Ace of Swords, which represents the truth. So we're going to find out the truth about what happened in that time period in January, and how he got the fruits that belong to this king over here with him. I know that felt drawn out, but I had to take you on a journey of, what I could see as an oracle, not just in tarot. So how he got his wife from up under him and over there with him in January, between January and February. This is really what's going to clinch the judgment for Devon, because they keep saying that Akira said it was okay for them to be together, but we never heard anything about Devon saying that he was okay with Tim poaching his wife. Or what felt like poaching his wife, allegedly. So here it is. You got stability, you've got marriage, okay? So this man here is the same man here, and he's pouring into a situation, trying to bring healing to a marriage. So remember, I said Devon could have been trying to get his wife back, even when they moved in together. Like, I don't think the communication was cut off the way that it was said. And then finally, the death card, okay? Here it is. This man is like, bow down, you've lost. Death is over. You have to concede. So now Tim is like, you might as well tap out. I'm not going anywhere. So we're going to find out why it took so much longer for Brene to divorce Devon than it took for Akira and Tim to get a divorce. Because it was like the divorce for Brene didn't happen until the following year. So this whole time, she as a married woman was living with Tim as a single man, because Tim had been legally separated and then he got a divorce, but Brene was not divorced. We got to remember that detail. I want to say she was even married when she got engaged. So you got the Page of Swords, once again, which is watching things, seeing things play out. And we're going to find out more about the actions that he watched play out, and why, it's going to be asked about why he didn't take certain action, why he didn't act out, why he didn't do certain things. We're going to get to finding out more about what actually kept him from saying anything. It's like, why is he currently taking this action versus why was he inactive then, or people felt that he was inactive then. So Knight of Staffs, which is the Knight of Wands, the Lovers, and the Knight of Wands. So the Lovers represents a committed couple, okay, soulmates. And then we got cheating. Y'all, play some juke joint. Cheating in the next room, because allegedly we're going to find out more about the cheating in the next room. So it's like Devon felt like this was his soulmate, his rib, his other partner. He thought that this was going to be a lifelong relationship. We're going to find out that there were way more secrets, things that he didn't know. We're going to find out if he was naive to certain things. if he actually knew certain things, because it comes off as if Tim felt like, dude is a clown, he dumb, he'll fall for anything. And this is going to be a heavy, heavy burden for Tim, because we're going to find out Devon ain't half as slow as he thought he was. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We got a jumper, a runner. Yeah, the hangman. Yeah, Devon knows way more about the situation than Tim expected. Remember, I said Tim stated that this is prejudicial to him because things happened so long ago that he doesn't actually remember all the inner workings and the detail. And y'all, that's on the record. That was his response to this case being renewed. Okay, so the Hierophant and Justice. Oh, Lord. The judge is going to be very intrigued with this case because there, as you can see, there's the balance is restored. Okay, they're going to want to know about the nuances in this case, not just the big details, because there's a lot. Remember, I said there's a lot of gray areas. If you're a musician, this is like playing the pauses, and sometimes the pauses can be, more important than the active things that were played out. So here it is. The Hierophant also represents marriage, institution, the institution of marriage, and court. Okay, so we've got this offer that got you to go in a different direction, the Hierophant, and this is definitely going to all play out in court, because Tim is going to throw his wife under the bus to where he's going to make it seem like, well, I didn't come for your wife, your wife was choosing, she chose me. So he's going to make it seem like, well, I didn't break up your marriage, your wife came to me, she chose me. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I promise you, Tim and Brene probably should be married, because this type of stupidity needs to be contained. So here it is, the Wounded Warrior, the King of Cups. People are really going to evaluate, Devon. Once again, this is the second time we're seeing Devon as the King of Cups and the Wounded Warrior, the person who was like the gentle giant. He felt so deeply, like, I love the both of them. This was like my family. This was, my wife, Damn it, cute Kelly Price. He was a friend of mine. He used what he knew. He lied, he cheated, and left me confused. If Tyler Perry wasn't in trouble right now, this would be such a great Tyler Perry movie. So here it is, the Nine of Pentacles, the independent woman. And as you can see, well, here it's an independent man. But as you can see, the bird, the messenger. So it was like he was receiving messages. His intuition was telling him. And, sometimes, I don't know if it's pride, love, both. You don't want to accept the messages that your intuition is showing you that you've received. Ten of Coins, okay? So Ten of Coins, King of Coins, ooh wee. So here it is. Now we're going to find out the meat and potatoes behind how much money, okay, was being spent between January and February, because it seems like something becomes very, very evident between that January and February where that lease was signed, where a lot of money was being spent. And this is where Tim ends up reaping all the rewards that Devon should have been receiving from the marriage. And he did it in the King of Wands energy. King of Staffs, King of Wands. And you know, King of Wands is not the marrying type. Oh, Lord, this is about to be nasty. So at this point, we're about to find out that, you know, Sweet Hips Tim, okay, Sweet Hips Tim may have possibly, you know, not been faithful to the person that he had, you know, broke up his marriage for. He could have still been outside, okay? Catch him outside. How about that? And there's going to be even more details about Tim's infidelity while him and Brene were playing house. While they, you know, were starting their relationship and playing house. There's more infidelity, more messages, more news about infidelity to come. So Tim is about to get exposed for really being out here in some grimy, dirt, dick energy. Damn, Brene, you paid for this. Four of Swords. And it's like Six of Swords, Four of Swords. So now we've got, you know, it's like the marriage was, I want to say they were separated, because Four of Swords doesn't mean it's necessarily over. It means that there is a break, there is a rest, possibly a time for, you know, rediscovering the marriage, a separation. So we're going to find out more about, you know, if there was a pause in the marriage, you know, if there was a time in the marriage where somebody said, I need a little space. We're going to find out about that space. And then next thing you know, that space led to, it became so toxic that somebody had to go. So I don't know who, you know, marriage, this separation. This feels like Devon and Brene. Okay, this is what this feels like. Like they, you know, had this happy marital home. Somebody needed a break. Somebody needed space. And then it became too toxic. And then it was over. And it led to shame, humiliation, and regret. Public embarrassment, shame, humiliation, and regret. Page of Swords. Everybody got to see it. So here it is. He didn't even get to, you know, mourn the ending of his relationship in peace because it played out for the whole world to see. Yeah, the messages were out for the whole world to see. Page of Swords to the Knight of Swords. So we're going to get off into the pain and suffering of everybody watching as this played out, and the things that Tim may have been saying to him when he, you know, was like, it feels like taunting him, manipulating a situation, even communication that he and Tim had while the marriage was still active. And just imagine somebody playing in your face, possibly giving you advice for your wife. And while you're giving me advice for my wife, you banging my wife. Could you imagine talking to someone? This is like supposed to be a cousin, a bestie. This, you know, this your man, your mellow, your ace. You're going to, you know, the closest person to you, the closest male figure to you, talking to him about the issues and the troubles in your marriage. And this person is literally Kelly Pricing you. He was a friend of mine. You used what you knew. You lied, you cheated, and left me confused. I keep saying, how did he not go to jail? Lord, this man, this is, when I say biblical patience, y'all got to pray for me, because I don't think I got this. Matter of fact, I know I don't. I don't. The story would have been way different. But this is why they're about to be blessed. Queen of Coins and the Devil. So yeah, Queen of Coins represents the wife, and the Devil represents obsession, toxicity, negativity. And we're going to hear about a lot of that energy like, you know, possibly in like November and December of that year, before they actually moved into the new place, or she claimed she moved into the new place. We're going to hear a lot about how toxic the environment was, how it became, you know, to the point to where it made her sick. And y'all, I mean, I don't see where Brene is winning at all. If you thought she was embarrassed the last time around, baby, buckle up, buttercup, because it's about to get very, very rocky for Brene, because Tim is going to make it seem like, hey, motherfucker is obsessed with me, you know, she wanted me, you know, you know, we started out talking to each other. She was there for me when I needed support. So he's gonna make it excuse me, he's gonna make it seem like, you know, she came along at a very dark and dreary time. And if you pay attention to his conversation, it's gonna make it seem like she took advantage of him needing emotional support. So, you know, almost as if, you know, he was just this calm and docile individual who was struggling, trying to push through his marriage, and she was this wonderful friend, this shoulder that he could cry on, and then it bloomed into something. And not realizing that he may have possibly allegedly been groomed in some type of way. He's gonna make it worse for his wife. That's all I got to say. He's gonna make it worse for his wife, because it's like, you know, she made me feel alive, you know, she made me feel wanted, she made me feel attractive. And it's gonna go back to Brene was the aggressor. Brene was the one who came for him. Brene was always offering to him, and it just felt good to be appreciated. But I didn't choose her, she chose me. Okay, so now it's going to be the weight of the world on Tim's shoulders, being stagnant, not knowing how to move forward in this situation, leading to lots of shame, humiliation, and regret over what was supposed to be an opportunity. His ship's coming in, because remember I told you the ship was back here trying to figure out how to come into dock, how to come into the port. So he, you know, damn it, here it is. It was his opportunity for your justice, for, you know, things balancing out for him. She was saving him from the evil woman who wanted him to be responsible and do grown-up stuff, allegedly. So, you know, this was supposed to be his blessing. You know, she came along, she saved me, she healed me. Temperance, yeah, she gave me balance through a new beginning. I was broken, I was weak, I was wounded, I was going through so much. Akira was such a meanie. But then boom, this is where Devon hits him with the high-level secrets that didn't come out in the first trial. Even the things that Akira didn't know. King of Staffs. Oh yeah, you was smashing and getting them Sonic coins. You was knocking the coins out my wife every time you was hooking up with her. It looked like she was doing something for you. So now it's transactional. We're gonna figure out how this became transactional. And it feels like somehow, some way, it was always transactional, and it was always Brene who made it better for Tim than it was for Brene, allegedly. High Priestess, Six of Swords. So he didn't, it's a lot that people didn't know that he kept secret. There was a lot that he found out after she left, especially when it comes to the money. He, like I said, he knew she was getting paid, you know, a nominal fee, whatever, but he didn't know how much money she was making. She could have played poor all the way up until she moved, and then here it is, you get this new place, you pop out with the new this, the new that, and it's like, how is she affording all of this? And it became evident by the summer, you know, what was going on, because now things are viral. There's a lot of money being made. People are telling him, like, you do know, you know, she really lit over there. They made X, Y, and Z. And then we're going to find out about money that could have been made from multiple social media accounts. So, you know, they were saying that she was making $25,000 a month. We don't know if that was from one social media account or if it was from multiple combined. Either way, she was doing damn good. But we're going to get the breakdown of how the money was made and how it was paid to her through all of the social media accounts that she's on, and then how it was dispersed and then possibly reallocated. So us reading the bank statements the last time, honey, this is about to get way more juicy. Now we're going to get off into Tim's bank statements. Has he been receiving transfers? You know, how many Scooby snacks were purchased for him? How many PlayStation games and controllers did he receive? Did he get new Jordans every time he gave her new thrills? We're going to find that all out. And it gets to the point to where 8 of coins. Like, he's going to talk about how he was at work. And he's seeing stuff at work with y'all on social media. And was like, how the hell are y'all always at work? So they even may have told him, you know, to keep him in a Akira quiet, that, you know, that's where this, okay, so this is how we're going to get to the social media manager position. Because, you know, they went on Dr. Phil and said that that was pretty much from our imagination. So it's going to come out of our imagination into the court. And we're going to find out more about the social media manager and what that entailed outside of sticking and dicking. 7 of Wands. So, you know, it gets to the point to where now, you know, Devon starts to stand up for himself, because Tim didn't think that Devon had it in him. He thought that he was a punk. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing. You should have been, you know, bust a move. You should have done this. You should have done that. So now we're gonna look off into what can be considered him bullying him. And they're gonna talk about his mental health. And now he's standing up for himself and he's fighting back. And, you know, I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I'm gonna fight in the court of law because now I'm a soldier of love. Baby, Devon is about to look real good doing some interviews. He's going to look real good, all tall and handsome in these new suits that designers want to dress him in on these interviews, if he chooses to go to Dr. Phil and Tamron Hall and whoever else to tell his side of the story. So lucrative, not for Tim. Eight of Cups. So now we're talking about the Hermit and the Eight of Cups. So when did you actually go into the Hermit? When did you actually become single? What made you actually walk away? When did you actually walk away? When did you actually move in? Hell, don't play with Attorney Robin, okay? Attorney Robin, baby, she might have your cell phone tower records and find out where your phone was pinging in January. Where you're living over here, where you're at your mama's house, where you know, playing Couch Surfer Supreme. Don't play with Miss Robin. Please don't play with Miss Robin, because we're going to really find out, when did Tim move. We're possibly going to see a copy of this lease, y'all, that Brene claims, you know, they only gave her one copy, but she only could get the redacted copy when she added information to it, but not the first one. That's going to become very, very, very relevant. Seven of Staffs to the Fool. So it's like Seven of Staffs to the Fool is like, you know, somebody popping it, somebody not being wise. They just, you know, out of nowhere. It's like now we're going to get off into, when did Tim become aggressive? When did Tim really start coming at him, coming at him, coming at him? And, you know, taunting him to stand up for himself, trying to humiliate him allegedly in public, you know, on social media. So I don't know how many exchanges they may have had on social media, but that's going to come up in court. It possibly can be played in court where Tim is talking to him and taunting him across social media. Lord. The Hermit. So the Three of Staffs. So once again, like I said, when did you actually get single? Was it before or after, you know, the separation? We're going to get more clarity on the window of separation, when they really started dealing with each other. Did they separate because they had been dealing with each other? It's going to get surgical how they're going to go down this timeline. Okay, the Fool. So we're going to see on both ends where, you know, it was chances to save the marriage, but it wasn't taken. People were still sleeping with their current husbands and wives while lying to each other, you know, telling each other what they want to hear, but telling the husband or wife what they needed to hear as well. We're going to hear about possible mistresses, other mistresses outside of Brene. Two of Cups. So it's like now you're talking about this was your soulmate, but when did she become your soulmate? And was it, you know, between side chick number 5, side chick number 7, or possibly allegedly her sister? Y'all, Robin is about to cook. Shout out to Attorney Robin. Yeah, this is, the secrets are going to start raining down in court. And it's going to happen swiftly. It's going to happen swiftly. Oh, Tim, if you weren't ready for it the last time, you definitely going to be ready for it this time, the world. This is going to really put the nail in the financial coffin between the both of them. And it's going to destroy them in social media because Ace of Wands. We're going to find out, you know, more about the hanky-panky and what these folks was doing, throwing it in a circle while everybody was at work. So I'm going to end it here, y'all, because this is already long enough. But when I say get prepared, roll up, get your popcorn, and get ready for a hell of a showdown. It's going to be a shimmy at the Beagle down to the court. And the court reporters, shout out to y'all. Honey, tighten your wig strap because your lashes and your wig going to get knocked loose. Listen to some of these details that are going to come out when Devon Mayo takes Tim Montague to court. Y'all, I'm going to end it here. Everybody have a great day. Thank you for spending all this time with me. And until next time, talk to y'all soon. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Y'all, this is a mess. When I say this is a fool, goodness gracious. See y'all next time. Bye-bye, y'all.